Hello everyone, this is Brett Keene. Whenever I was younger, I had traveled to a friend's house. And I was hanging out with my pal and everything, and we were pretty much just doing what kids do. And it was time for me to get home. It was starting to get kind of late. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't pedaling my bicycle in the dark, especially when I got to a road called Telegraph Road. Telegraph Road was basically this big-ass fucking windy downward spiral. And at the bottom of this fucking road was where I lived, so I had to go down it. I was going down this road, and I remember not really thinking of much, just doing my thing, and remembering back to how exciting it was playing with my friend for the little time that I did. So, as I started to go down the road on my bicycle, I started to pick up speed. This was not one of the expensive bikes out there. The chain was pretty rusty. The bike had all kinds of issues. I should have known better. But I started going down the hill really fast, and I started feeling like I was flying, like I was gliding as I headed down this downward spiral. Well, as I got halfway down, I was going so fast, it was almost impossible at this point to be able to stop. And I started to get more and more nervous. I started to have anxiety, and I tried to put on the brake a little bit, and it just made the back end of the bike start swiveling, doing kind of some fishtails. This made me very nervous. So I started messing around a little bit, and I kind of froze up as I was going down this road so quickly. So what ended up happening is that I noticed that there was a car coming towards me. I was on the side of the road and everything where the cars were actually coming up towards me. So as this happened, I went out of control on my bike and started going directly at this person's vehicle. They did not attempt to stop or slow down. I guess they may have assumed that I was going to be able to move out of the way or go back to the shoulder. But I was doing a direct head-on collision with the vehicle. Well, unfortunately, sadly, neither one of us were able to turn out of the way. And them in a vehicle and me on a bike, you could imagine how that was going to turn out. I hit that vehicle, and when I hit it, it wasn't like in the movies and stuff where you roll up on top of the hood and then, you fall out on the street and you get right back up type of situation. What happened was, as I ended up getting hurled several feet into the air, and I basically was in a dive-like motion as I started to fly basically over the edge of this road. Now there was pretty much this big old giant ditch right there, and on the other side of the ditch was just tons and tons of trees. Well, I picked up some pretty good air time, and I hit the tree upside down and basically went down the branches and landed right on my head as though I was being tombstone pile drived by the Undertaker himself. I lay there unconscious for a little bit. Basically, my vision was darkened. I could feel my blood basically running around on my body. I was cut up pretty good from the tree as well as the branches, and I didn't really want to move at this point because I wasn't sure if I broke my neck or what kind of damage had been done to myself due to this accident. As I lay there and I started to stare up at the road, the person that hit me, they stopped their vehicle, they got out and they looked at me, and I'm not exactly sure what they seen whenever they were staring at me because they looked like they were extremely nervous from what I could tell. The person stood there for a little bit longer, looked around, got back in their vehicle, and drove off as though nothing had happened. So, when I was younger, I always suspected that people were going to do the right thing, that if someone seen someone in trouble, they were going to do whatever they could to help them, even if it was just a kid. But I learned at a very young age that sometimes people don't care, sometimes people don't do anything. And as I lay there for a long time, hoping that someone or something would come and save my ass, I realized it wasn't going to happen. It started to get darker, and not just my vision. So finally, I dragged my carcass off the ground, bloody, beaten, just totally nasty looking, fucking skin hanging off my arms and everything else. It was bad. It was bad. It looked like I got fucking hammered with a cheese grater. So finally, I was able to drag myself. My bike was so fucking messed up, I had to pretty much drag it along the road. I should have probably just hurled it into the ditch and said, fuck it. But for some reason, my mentality at the time and my way of thinking was, grab the bike, let's go. I remember coming home, and my mother was asleep. I went in, I took a hot shower, and as I let the water run over me and wash my blood off my body, I realized it's just me. It's just me from here on out. There's no one, there's nobody that's going to save me or be there or hold my hand through this life. I'm just going to have to do the best I can and not wait on some kind of imaginary miracle to happen. Peace.